Do you ever find yourself stuck in a thought loop? One thought leads to two, which leads to five, and the next thing you know, you're spiraling and you have no idea how you got there? Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Teddy, and I've been in therapy for about a year now. I started therapy because my main goal was to work on my romantic relationships, and inevitably in the process, I've had to work on my relationship with myself. I've acquired a lot of tools along the way, and I'm going to share one of those tools with you today. So, in this video, I'm going to teach you 3 ways to stop ruminating. Let's start with the definition. Rumination can be defined as looping, repetitive, and intrusive thoughts. These thoughts can be dangerous because to our brains, it feels as if we're being productive or as if we're solving problems, but in fact, it is draining us. Why does the act of ruminating feel like problem solving? Well, our brains have evolved over time to keep us safe. It is constantly scanning for threats and solving problems to ensure our survival. When something upsetting or uncertain happens, our brain says, let's think about this. Maybe if we analyze the situation a little bit more, it won't happen again. However, let's not get confused here. This is the key point to understand. Rumination is not about solving problems because it is passive and it is circular. Problem solving is about being active and moving forward. So that leaves us with good news. Rather than confusing more thinking with being more in control, we can take that active role and we can use research based strategies to stop ruminating. Strategy number one, interrupt the thought loop. When we get stuck in a loop, we get attached to the feeling that we're actually solving a problem. The important question to ask is, how do we detach from that? Let's turn to the research. In a 2019 study that looked into mental visual imagery, researchers found that this imagery can evoke real emotional responses. Using that knowledge to our advantage, I'm going to share a tool that my therapist shared with me. When a thought enters your mind, I want you to envision lighting a candle, one single candle. That candle will represent this thought, and you're not going to fight it, you're not going to resist it, you're just going to sit with it and observe it. And you might even watch the flame flicker. The key here is that you're going to try your best not to light another candle. Because if you do, then you might light another candle, and then another candle, and then another. And before you know it, you have a giant fire in front of your face that you have no idea how to put out. I love this metaphor because it represents the thought chain or loop that we find ourselves getting stuck in so often. Notice that there's not any resistance to the thought or the candle. You're simply sitting with it, you're observing it. And the main priority is to ensure that you don't continue with the thoughts or with the lighting of the candles. Once you've spent some time with that candle and you're ready to be done with it, take a deep breath and then blow it out and then continue with your day. Going back to the study, which was published in Nature Reviews Neuroscience, when you envision something emotionally significant, the same brain regions are activated when you experience something, in this case, the amygdala and the prefrontal cortex, as when you envision it. This is incredibly useful to know, and this is why envisioning the candle works as a strategy. The candle represents an emotional thought or event from your life, and when you envision yourself blowing it out, you're detaching yourself from that thought and preventing yourself from creating a loop and getting stuck in it. Strategy number two, get physically present. When we feed our thoughts energy, they tend to get very powerful. And because of this, things can get pretty intense quickly. Turning to the research, in a 2023 study that was published in Biological Psychiatry, a group of participants practiced using mindfulness-based cognitive therapy. They were compared to a control group, and this group that was practicing this therapy showed decreased brain connectivity to areas in the brain that were linked to rumination. So what does this tell us? Well, the group who practiced therapy demonstrated that they were able to get more in tune with their bodies and thus shift their awareness to their bodies instead of their thoughts. Using this knowledge to our advantage, the strategy then is to do something with your body. Go take a cold shower, go outside and name 5 things that you hear and see, or even go for a walk with no devices. Strategy number 3, give your thoughts a home. Rather than resisting the thoughts that are popping into your mind, give them a place to exist other than your mind. A 2023 study that was published in Springer Cognitive Therapy and Research shows that there's a direct link between rumination and cognitive diffusion. Cognitive diffusion refers to being able to see a thought as a thought and nothing more. What we're really referring to here is cognitive flexibility. So rumination and cognitive diffusion are inversely related. If you tend to ruminate a lot, then your ability to diffuse will be much lower. And if you don't ruminate that much, then it's usually a sign, a predictor that you're able to diffuse at a much higher rate. Keeping these thoughts in mind, our goal here is to create psychological distance from these thoughts that lead us to rumination. You will see a shift from being your thoughts to observing your thoughts. So here's the strategy. Grab your journal or open the notes app on your phone and just write all your thoughts down. If you want to take this one step further, schedule a worry time in your day or your week and give it about 15 minutes and just let those thoughts breathe. It's okay to worry. It's okay to have those thoughts, but allow them to exist in a space other than your mind. What's the common thread between all of these strategies? Well, the goal here isn't to never think. It's to think just enough and then to return to your life. As with all self-development, this will be challenging, but all it takes is practice. Take action today and stop ruminating. If you found this video useful, consider subscribing and check out this other video I made where I explain why you should try therapy. It's been life-changing for me, and I promise it'll add some type of value to your life. I'll see you in next week's video.